which one should be charged to what pressures. It is the individual temperature of the individual lubricant, the accumulators. Okay, there is a service letter about it. Now that we have to do the checks almost once a month, if not, I think it is once a month. So we're ensuring that the pressures are correct. When we have taken them apart, overhauled them, put them back together again, mounted them on the system, charged them to correct pressure, then what we're doing is we will be reverting the valves to the correct position for normal operation before charging the system. It is important that the valves are back to the normal operation position and let the electrical starter pumps build up the pressure for you. Do not charge the system and then attempt to isolate and de-isolate the valves, as this can and will cause damage to the accumulators, the end user, i.e. the fever, and also whatever seals you have on the ball valves themselves. Okay, they are designed to safeguard you and the system, but of course if you're not careful, then they cannot safeguard you anymore. Okay, any questions to do with the 300 bar system? Nope. Good. So moving on, looking now at the reduction unit block for the 200 bar system. So we can see that we have our fuel booster, exhaust fire actuator, and the accumulators mounted on the backside. You can see that now we have the ME lubricator, or the lubricator, mounted on this part of the block, and we have our fever shown here, and then a series of bore valves and mini mesh connections. We can see here that we have 405 and 406. These are the drain for the fever lines. Then we have 420 and 421, the main supply and main drain, and 430, 431 for your double wall pipe leak detection. And then we also have the 455 and the 560 for your ME lubricator. So you can see here that we have 420 open, 430 open, and 560 open. So the ones that ending in 0 should be open during normal operation. If they don't end in 0, then they should be closed in this context. Okay, so it is a good way to remember what should be open, what should be closed on the block itself. Okay. Cool. So we're looking now at the 300 bar system, a little bit more simplified, but we can still see that we have the 420 and 421, the main supply and main drain valves for the block for the fever, and the mini mesh connection is still the same for the lubricator 560 and 565. We have kept all the numbers the same for all ME type engines, so there should be no misunderstanding and no discrepancies when you're doing any maintenance. It is as it is, so it's quite easy for you guys to remember. Okay. So looking at this point here, I might be able to zoom in. So you can see what I was talking about, the telltale here for the lubricator. Here on this part, the mating surface, we have, of course, bolts mounted to secure it against the distribution block. On this side, in the center point of the flange face here, against the distribution block, there is a telltale. It is maybe big enough just to get a little finger in, just about, but it's there. And if you can see, you need to get a torch on it. If you can see any sort of indication of oil seeping, then that is your indication, your indicator to do an overhaul. Looking at the block itself, we have these brass tallies, and it does tell you that when you're doing any overhauling on the hydraulic cylinder unit and or the lubrication, then you need to follow the instructions. We here at MAN have added the 0 to make sure your gauge is working. The digital gauges that you connect, or the analog gauges, whatever you use, they need to be serviceable. If they aren't functioning correctly, then you do not know the status of the system. So of course, when you drain the system and you expect it to be depressurized, and of course something happens, then it's going to be a pretty bad day for you guys. Also, when you're looking at the block itself, you can see that we have these ball valves, and they are in the open position. You can see that this is the turning point for your ball valve, and we have a groove that's showing it is in this indication. So we have the open here, and we have this rotation ring. So when it's closed, then we would be able to rotate this part to the point here. When you are in service, you do not have any do not need to do this, but if you are working on the system, you can take the circlip off here when the valve is closed, remove the circlip, take this disc off, rotate the disc to this point here. Then you place the circlip on, and then you have locked the valve in the closed position. Okay, gentlemen? Did that make sense? Okay. So there are no questions so far? Nothing at all?
Nobody's making any noise.
No. So then we'll go for a 10-minute break.
Yeah, that will be a good idea, I think.
Yeah. So we'll go for a 10-minute break, 10 minutes, gents, and we'll crack on with the rest of the presentation.